$3.50,
for anyone managing
75 cents per new tire now.
That's right,
For recycling tires.
Do you actually fill out a return and pay?
All
Yes.
major brands of diabetes
Every
testing
month
supplies,
you have to
like
fill out a
Accu-Check
return
and
for how many
Walgreens
new
Metric.
tires.
It's all fixed. Here's the deal. He's got in-house machine shop, rebuilding all of that. His hook is transmissions and all of that made in America. We need to figure out what you want your hook to go forward, because we've done that loyalty thing and the honesty.
You know, but that is our thing.
Is it working?
Yes.
Can I do this week? $6,000
For the week.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show this hour, brought to you by 24-hour. 24/7. Oh my God, I just my brain's a fog. And this is an abbreviated show today. We're going to squeeze everything into 2 hours because of women's basketball. It's just a commitment we have as a radio station and as iHeartRadio. By the way, this show is live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app across the country. Also, we're downloadable and one of the most listened to shows downloaded and the longest running radio show with the same host currently on the air. The reason I qualify us is because I want you to have confidence that you can call us and we will give it our best to try to help you. But even if we don't directly help you, so many people get helped by sharing your experience. So give us a call with any consumer problem, question, or complaint. When I say consumer, of course, it transcends the normal broken stuff or normal transaction ripoffs. We get into neighborhoods and neighbor versus neighbor. We get into government abuse. We get into all kinds of issues, career, jobs. Again, today is car day. What we do with car day? Well, we concentrate on cars. We never have a single topic show ever. But today is car day. So welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. And I say the show is brought to you by Fix It 24/7. And it just so happens that Michelle is on the line. She just happened to call in. Michelle, what are you calling about? What did you have done? This is the reaction. I love getting reaction from all of my sponsors. Tell me your experience. What happened? Yeah, that $39 for the cleaning. Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah. And by the way, thank you for trusting me on that. I really mean that. I really do mean that. I know a lot of people, they really put their trust in me, and I hope you understand that. If I find out, okay. Okay, good. And so what happened? What did you love so much that compelled you to call?
Disassembling the furnace, he said, well, looks like you've taken good care of it. I said, well, we've tried.
Good.
He opens it up, and looks like, and then he starts taking out parts. Tom, imagine a ceiling fan that hadn't been dusted for 23 years.
Yeah.
That's what my blower was like, because all the cleanings that I had in the past never, ever removed the blower.
No.
Never took things apart.
Right.
Never explained things. They were explaining parts and what did what. Because of he took the blower out, there was oil all over the place because the motor was on its last breath. He opened up the air conditioning thing on the furnace, and that too was on its way out. And it was patch or change. And I'm 75. I live on a fixed income. Life isn't always easy. But I knew that if I patch it, I don't know what tomorrow.
So what did you end up doing?
I bought new furnace and air conditioner.
I hope you feel comfortable about that and made sure.
Good. I'll manage. The home is comfortable. The guys are absolutely the best, and they are the only company that I will allow to maintain my new system. I want to make this very clear, okay? Only about 5% of those calls end up with the new stuff if people need it. But they don't scare you into it. They told you, and I know they did, that they could make it work. But thank you. I didn't know what you were going to say beforehand, but I want people to know that it's a real deal. By the way, 720-526-3939. You don't have to have any work done. You can just have the cleaning and the adjustments and all of that. That's all free. Not free, including the oiling of the stuff, the lubrication, the cleaning. A lot of people say this furnace check, but if they make any adjustments or any cleaning, it's extra. This is never extra. And then they give you an honest assessment. 720-526-3939. Only 10 today of that $39 furnace clean and check, and it's a clean inspection check. I should say adjustments and lubrication. 720-526-3939. People, welcome to the show. Every single thing I do on the show, including commercials, is to teach, educate, and help. Chris, what's going on with you? Welcome, and then I'll introduce our special car day guest. What's going on, Chris?
I was calling to see if I'm either SOL on $1,500 or I can get it back.
What happened?
I've only been in my house a few months, and 2 days ago, or maybe 3 days ago, Colorado Springs Utilities showed up at the house saying an electrician called them to say there's possibly a safety issue, and they checked my meter, and there was basically a line that was bypassing the meter. So
why did they call you?
They didn't. They showed up at the house.
Why though? Why?
They said an electrician had called them, and when I looked into it, there was an electrician that was from the previous homeowner that had basically come out to the property and done work for them back in October, September.
So this electrician was at the house and had a concern and called Colorado Springs Utilities?
Yeah, he called them, a few days ago he called them, so he didn't disclose any of this information.
But that's weird. That's weird that he waited all this time and then suddenly called.
Yeah, he sent me a letter, I got a letter in the mail from some guy. I'm like, I don't know who this is. It's something about a possible concern. I'm like, I don't know if this guy's just fishing for work, and then I got a bucket truck, and they cut my line. Why did they cut your line? Because there was a illegal... Basically, the right half of my circuit breaker was powered around the meter. Basically, it wasn't on the line at all. So what they did was somebody in the house before you cheated the electric company. Yeah, and the line that they had went around had been painted, because the house had been painted like 10 years ago. So it's been going on for. I understand that. What's more important, Chris, is that the previous owner had this electrician there and knew of the problem and did not disclose it to you. Yeah. How much did it cost you to fix it? $1,600. I see no way that they can get away with this. I see no way they can get away with it. Now, you can be nice. You can be nice and say to them, look, I have in writing or can prove that a previous electrician made you aware of a problem, and you did not disclose it. I'm assuming they did not disclose it on the settlement sheet, right? No, it's not on the non-disclosure. So then I'm telling you, Chris, you ask them nicely. You must pay this. You knew about it. You did not disclose it. You must pay it. If they give you any grief at all, you call us back, and then we're going to do two things. We're going to get involved, but mainly, this is made for small claims court. This is made for it. Outstanding. You're going to win, Chris. Okay. Now, I wasn't sure if I went after the electrician or the homeowner, or no. The electrician had no obligation to you. I mean, what's the electrician supposed to do? Find out when it goes under contract and then go after. Now, you're going to use that electrician, I hope, to testify. Did you use him to do the work? No, I had somebody else. Come out. But you need that other guy to testify that he did make the previous homeowner aware. Now, when I say testify, it could be an affidavit, but it may get sticky. I don't see how this previous homeowner is going to get away with it. Did you talk to them at all right now? I haven't. I called the electrician. I called the electric company, and his concern was that there was... He said that he thought that there was a line or something that looked off. He didn't say anything about the line going around the meter. So his concern... It doesn't matter. But what did he say to the homeowner? If the homeowner truly did not know, if this guy said, well, something looks queer about your line, that's not necessarily... something. That's how he worded it when he told me. I asked him if he let them know, and he said, he was like, well, he kind of waffled around. Well, let's put it this way. Why did he call them to begin with? Why did the previous owners call to begin with? He said it's something where he suddenly remembered there was a line sticking out somewhere, and he didn't want the place to catch fire or something like that. And I'm like, and I asked the electrician I had out there in the Colorado Springs Utilities, there was no screwy line or anything sticking out anywhere. So they're like, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but look, for some reason, that was the excuse he gave. It all comes down to this, Chris. What did the homeowner know? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Today is car day. I have guests here, and they will be talking to us about your car concerns. And speaking of cars, Rocky's Autos is at 63rd and Federal with used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, and they have fresh turnover about every few days. Not everything turns over, but they get new stuff in. It always behooves you to go there and look at 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. They have variety, I like saying, in not just the prices and the makes and models and year, but
the colors as well, and financing. Yes, variety in financing. Pick one that meets your needs at Rocky's 303-426-4646.
Yeah, one of the big things on this here as far as the timeline, he had the truck for 18 to 20 months, and then he gives the invoice, and he told me on the radio, on the phone, that, hey, do you know this came in boxes? Well, he came and picked up the car. He knew it. He had the vehicle for 18 months.
Yeah, but the Colorado Auto Repair Act doesn't allow him to just arbitrarily charge. Where's his estimate?
Right. No, also on that.
Well, that was his estimate.
That was his estimate right there. This is his estimate.
Okay,
Right.
well, that's
And
fine.
he paid it all.
Yeah.
The customer? The customer. Jerry? His son's coming on.
Yeah.
No, the customer is Jim. Jim Hollander is the customer.
But he had an engine already, and then he charged him for another engine?
Because he said if they want to put a blower on, they couldn't put it on that engine. You needed a special engine to put a blower on. See, that's what you guys are.
And that's
about that
entirely
stuff.
possible, but why are you putting a blower on a...
Here's the whole point.
That's what
Here's the whole
Probably
point.
needed a lower compression
No,
engine.
Yeah.
They're
Here's
okay.
the whole
Very well,
point.
could have been.
He gives him an estimate.
Okay.
What did he do? Did he do the work? That's it. If additional work is needed, that has no concern to me nor to, it's not dishonest or honest. He
Sure.
gave him an estimate. Did he do that work? Period.
Yeah.
And then, of course, did he need the work that he estimated?
Yeah.
Or was it a lie? But this is a screwy deal. The Auto Repair Act may not cover this guy because he didn't drive it in. It was transferred from one shop to another.
Right. By Jim Weiss.
Yeah, so that's, well, do you know, the Auto Repair Act protects auto shops that do that because they don't want consumers just dropping cars off and walking away. Like some people will drop a car off. It does not, it excludes people who drop cars off, or that cars that are towed in, or cars that are left there without the owner. So
But there's
technically,
an obvious agreement, though. He's
yeah,
got an estimate.
no,
he's got
there
payments,
is.
so
I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Did he abide by the agreement? It
Yeah.
could be a simple breach of contract.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta believe that Weiss can't rip off everyone and be in business as long.
Yeah, how is that possible?
I don't know.
But 20 grand should be enough to at least have an engine in a truck.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Where is the car right now, the vehicle?
Sitting in Weiss's.
Okay. This is not unlike previous problems where he was given money and did not
This is
do the
worse.
job.
This is worse. Worse. Much worse.
Then
No,
the
he's saying
better.
he needs
Yeah,
60
much
grand
worse.
to finish.
That's what he told me because you know
Wait.
well, this is much worse
Okay. We'll handle it.
because he's paying him 21 grand. I don't think anything is done. Weiss wouldn't say that. And the new engine. There's another new engine that he's got too that he picked
Buy
up.
a new engine.
He
Oh,
bought
yeah.
two engines.
Right.
Two,
He was- but he was given the one, and then he
Why?
said,
Who bought two?
He had it at another shop prior to this,
Right.
and the guy lost his mechanic. So
Right.
this guy recommended Weiss, so they loaded up the new engine into the back of the truck to take it to Weiss. And Weiss sold him yet another motor.
Weiss actually picked it up in his truck.
Well, okay.
So then the engine that wouldn't work because of the blower, could the
Yeah.
customer return that engine?
Or
Where is
He
that
doesn't
engine?
know.
Nobody knows
He doesn't know
where
where it's at.
They don't know where it's at.
Well, the old guy, his son.
Parkinson's, I've seen the thing up here, 80
Yeah.
plus
He
Parkinson's.
paid $13,500 for the motor.
Right.
That was on the stand that he wanted installed for the motor and transmission.
Right.
And then now we sells him another motor. So he's purchased two motors. So it's 20 grand here and 13,500 over here. The guy's in at $35,000.
Yeah.
Right.
But the big
Plus
Who did he buy the original engine from?
Colorado off.
Colorado off-road.
Oh, right, okay.
And the guy was good about it. He lost his tech. He lost, he just couldn't
Yeah,
do the work.
so he can return that engine.
Not necessarily. It's custom. He could resell it possibly.
So I think it must have been a high compression engine. Brand new. It wasn't a rebuild engine.
No,
Right,
it was
brand new GM crate motor.
Yeah. Wrapped in plastic.
Sure.
So what's that worth? 5 grand? 6 grand? Depending upon what.
Depending on the engine and depending on the stuff. Yeah. Could be worth more.
But you see, he got everything in his estimate. Even so, we said, there was nothing in there, but he's got in there 2 grand for labor.
Yep.
Plus all this stuff. He charged sales tax, everything.
Plus 800 to do the wiring harness for the blower. That's probably for the blower
Well,
wiring
the
harness.
whole wiring harness. it's 1984 Chevy.
It's an 84 Chevy
Oh,
3500.
One.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got labor at the bottom.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Century RV. It is an auto day today, car day, and Century RV is a big part of this. They've been advertising with me for years. They have a place at 119, Highway 119 and I-25, right along Frontage Road there. A huge selection of stuff up there, new and used. Now they expanded into a 32,000 square foot facility in Lakewood, just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's. With used RVs, you need two types of pre-purchase inspections. And of course, Century RV has a service department, which is so important. So many of these RV places just sell them and don't service them. And you can't just pull into a regular garage to have stuff done. You have two things to worry about. You have the drivetrain and chassis. You have that. And then you have the house. So and it's distinctly different than a normal house. You have different furnaces and refrigeration and plumbing. And all of that, these guys are experts at. So, you know, I seldom talk about their service, but they have great service at Century RV. So when you are checking out an RV to buy, look not just at, of course, the drivetrain and motor, but look at the house items as well, especially the heaters. Those heaters are very finicky. You also have to look at the type of plumbing. Some are not made for all-weather use, even if you're in it. And even the heat, it's not made for all-weather use. Some people think if they're using it, it helps them. No. If it's not a winterized unit, I don't mean winterizable, where you drain everything and store it. I mean a unit where the pipes are protected. Even when you're using it, you can have problems with freezes, even if you're using it every day. So check out CenturyRV.com, 303-453-1111. Both places open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Okay, so Kevin Calkin is with us from Sheridan Auto Tech, and he is one of our experts, along with Mark Machowski, Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair, one of the few transmission shops that still have a machine shop and actually do their own work. In fact, when you have a transmission rebuilt, there's a good likelihood it's going to them, so you can just cut out that middleman and go to the source. Let's talk about your problems, questions, and complaints, okay? Coming up, we will have a problem that we review with 44th Auto. His name is Jim Weiss, and it's 44th Auto Service in Bennett, I believe, right? Out in Bennett. And we have had similar problems with Jim over the years, and well, actually, of the last 2 years. Similar problems, and we have to figure out why this keeps happening. Anyway, let's go to the phones. And Lou, what's going on with you, Lou?
Hello.
Hi. What's going on, Lewis?
Well, I have a 2013 Ford Focus ST.
Okay.
And was driving it in August, so it's been about 7 months. And the motor blew up as I was driving it.
All right, so how long have you owned this?
I've owned the car since new, so 2013.
Okay. All right, so the engine blew up, and where does the problem come in? Obviously, that's a problem, but I mean, are you complaining about what happened after that?
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, so what happened? You had it fixed where?
So I bought the car with AutoNation, and I had all the service done prior to that. So I had an oil change.
Sure.
There was a issue before, so they had done all the work on it.
So you've kept it maintained?
Yes.
How many miles on it?
42,000.
All right, so your engine shouldn't have blown. What's going on?
Yeah, the warranty's 60,000, 5 years.
So you're still in warranty?
100,000. Yeah, so I'm definitely still in the warranty, which will be coming up very soon. I've been fighting this for 7 months.
What are you fighting? Let's get to the problem part. What are they saying is going on?
Yeah, so drove the car, engine blew up, kind of knew that's what happened, had it towed, heard back about a week later, got on the phone with, it was a service advisor, the service director, and somebody else. They wouldn't say who it is, but we were on a phone call, me and my wife.
And the point?
And
right to the point. What did they say?
Yep. Yeah, they said, well, you did this, you did that. Basically,
so let me just sum this up. Are they saying it is not under warranty?
Yeah, they made it unwarrantable at that point.
Because they're saying probably you did something wrong. You didn't give it oil, or you didn't maintain it. What are they saying you did wrong?
Well, there's a litany of issues. There was a part in the seat. There was a cold air intake. I replaced the engine mount.
No, I'm asking you, what are they saying to you? They're saying, they're giving you a reason, Lou, why they're not covering it. What is the reason?
They said I replaced an engine bolt in the car, and it was stripped, and that caused the engine to move. The oil came out. The engine blew up.
Okay,
so it was my
so
fault.
it's your fault. What do they mean you replaced a bolt? They didn't mean you personally?
Yes.
And let me ask you, did you?
No.
Okay, what do they mean you replaced a bolt? What bolt would cause an engine to shift and lose oil? I'm lost on this.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay,
there's an engine mount.
They're saying an engine mount bolt was replaced by you. I'm not saying you did it, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I was incorrectly replaced by me.
Okay, listen to this, guys. I'm reading this, then I'll hand it to you. It says passenger side motor mount, and motor mounts, for those listening, they hold the engine in place, for lack of a better way of putting it. They just hold the engine in place, and it says passenger side motor mount has the wrong stud installed and is suspected of causing engine to move excessively, causing the hose to come out. It says there was a code, and it says the speed, and vehicle speed was clocked at 112 miles an hour. Engine run time at that speed was 3 minutes.
Tom, do those data machines
or
ever
4
lie?
minutes.
Do
No, they don't lie. An engine failure due to lack of engine oil and maximum engine demand. Vehicle needs a long block intake. Okay, so here, I'll pass this over, guys. In a nutshell, they're saying the engine blew because the oil tube line came out, and that was because the engine shift due to a stud. There are a whole bunch of issues here. First of all, the engine stud, on the mount, you never touched it.
No, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I would never have touched it.
And why would anyone have touched it? I mean,
well, I didn't have any reason, but when you were previously, the alternator, it was in for an electrical issue. The alternator was removed and replaced as part of that. It ended up not being that. But in talking with Phil Long, he said you need to remove this engine mount bolt to get at the alternator.
So it's possible they removed it and it was damaged and they replaced it. But even if they did, can you guys see a scenario where a line would come out as a result of shifting from a motor mount?
No, I can't.
Well, they're talking about a PVC line that's in the back.
Which would be a vacuum line.
But how can that cause engine failure?
Because it goes into the crank. It's possible it can push oil out. When I was reading this earlier, it said there was excessive oil on the undercover.
What do you think about that excuse first? Do you think it's plausible?
It's a stretch. It's their guess.
How low on oil was it?
2 quarts.
2 quarts low. Okay, but it was going
112
miles an hour. And those computers don't lie about that, right?
That'd be hard to justify.
You can't unless they're just lying about it, of course.
Sure.
Did you see the computer printout, Lou?
No.
All right. Did you take it somewhere else to be analyzed?
Yeah, it was. They told me to get the car out. I brought it to Larry Miller.
Why'd they tell you to get it out?
They just didn't want the car there. It's my fault, and I need to get it out of there.
Well, in other words, they don't want your money if you wanted to pay to get it fixed.
No, they want to be gone.
Wait a minute. They're turning down the work, so that tells me they're not making this up. That tells me for sure they're not making it up. That goes to their credibility. Absolutely. Why would they lie to you about that and not want to get the work? I mean, usually if people lie or make up an excuse and not cover it under warranty, it's because they want the money. But here's another thing that goes to their credibility. It's under warranty, which means a dealer wants warranty work. If they get paid from you or get paid from the factory, it's the same thing. So there's 2 things going for them. First, they have no vested reason to make up a story at all. They don't get kudos from the factory if they put in less warranty claims. They don't. And the second one is they don't even want to do the work. So it tells me they must be telling the truth. That line came out and they suspect the mount. So we have to figure out why that happened. I mean, really, you may have to sue somebody. If they were the only ones ever touching your car, then you can allege they did it. You can accuse them. Were they the only ones that ever worked on the car? Like for that alternator, are they the ones that worked on it?
Yeah, that was the only service.
All right.
Yeah, but they did it 3 years ago.
Oh.
The
I had
invoice
Kevin
here,
look at
the
it.
invoice in front here says it's 2014 when they did the alternator.
I think he needs to sue to get this done under warranty. I think that they, you know, even if that did happen, why wouldn't that be under warranty? I mean, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. I think you need to go back to the manufacturer and say, I want this covered under warranty, and you may have to go to another dealer that will fight for you. Did you mention to Phil Long? Did Phil Long Ford go to the manufacturer for you?
I went to the Ford executives.
And what did they say?
They said, bring it in.
Yeah.
You need to find a dealer that hadn't seen the history in the car. We go in.
That's a good idea. But ultimately, what happened with that?
Ford said the diagnosis be $1,400. If it was deemed my fault, I would pay the $1,400. If not, they will pay it.
That sounds reasonable. So who would do the diagnostic?
Phil Long.
Okay, so did you do it?
I did it.
And what did it turn out to be?
The diagnostic turned out to be the engine bolt was stripped. It was glued in place. A big chunk of metal was taken out. They deemed the failure was a direct result of the engine bolt and the engine moving. Okay, then I believe them. I don't think you're going to get all these people lying to save Ford money. I believe them. Now we figure out what do you do about it. I believe them. Okay, this is credible. Guys, what do you think? I mean, if that bolt went so far to say it was glued in place,
right? And if the bolt was glued in place, that was probably done when the alternator was replaced.
Right. And I'm saying,
and the dealer did that.
Yeah, let's come up with an action. But I don't think Ford is responsible. Let's come up with an action plan. That's what we need to do, and that's just it. Listen, we've had problems with AutoNation before, and we're going to call AutoNation. And we're going to try to get results. I believe the dealer did it. I believe that dealer did it when they replaced the alternator. No one else worked on it. There's no reason why an owner is going to super glue a bolt in place unless there is some information I don't have. We'll explore it coming back along with all your other stuff. But we also have to take Jim Weiss. He's taking time out of his day to come on the air. Whenever an owner comes on the air, we give them the utmost respect. Okay, buy and build. Buying stuff for your home, interior finish items, you will never find better prices. I don't often talk about just prices, but here, and then sometimes I say value, meaning it's not the lowest price. Here you get both value and the lowest prices, bar none. You will never find cabinets cheaper for the same cabinets. Great cabinets. He even has a shaker line. And he also does granite, and he does, now he doesn't do the kitchen, he doesn't do the labor and stuff, but you can buy materials there. You can buy plumbing fixtures for pennies on the dollar. You can buy electrical fixtures for 1/10 of the cost of in stores. Buyandbuild.net is the website. Now, you can go there at 4800 Washington Street directly or send your contractor. That's buyandbuild.net.
They say right at the bottom of that $1,400 diag that it's a direct correlation to the other dealer.
They're supposed to be on together.
That was 3 years ago.
It doesn't matter.
So,
and I believe that those guys, he needs to go after that deal.
Yeah.
So that's where we're leaving it? He needs to sue AutoNation?
But I'm going to come back and tell
Oh,
him.
okay.
He needs to sue AutoNation did
But
that.
you would think in that 3
Okay,
years, the
is that more
customer...
clear to you now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
the big thing
I didn't realize that he had them do a diagnosis.
With the paperwork I gave Kevin, I didn't give him enough info.
Yeah.
Tom, not to be confused, there's James with the Jim Weiss problem.
You
So
know
they're both on, okay?
he picked it up.
But if you get one Ford dealer saying that the repair that the other Ford
What's that
cost?
I just tell them about Weiss thing.
Yes, but
Hi,
see,
Mark.
if it was done 3
What are
years
you gonna
ago,
do?
and
Are you
he
gonna
gonna
take off?
it
You're
on
gonna
to
stick
these
around?
people, at least with the customer.
No,
all of his
the
baby.
thing doesn't open till
Wouldn't you
noon.
think they would catch some sort
And
of
we're
illegal-
not even on at noon because they won.
But
So I was just no
they're
way.
saying here that there was no
I
oil
finished
in
something
the
up
engine.
with
Not
my
too close
contractor
low.
and then shot down here.
There's some gray area, obviously.
We're just redoing the whole house.
You are to update it.
Yeah, we're almost. We've done the next big one's master bath, which is monstrous.
I spent 125 on my master bath.
Master bath is the killer, man. I know our shower is like, it's massive. And I know the walls, in order to get the existing tile off, I know the walls are going to be gone. I mean, I just know it. So now I'm contemplating, do we just redo everything, and I'm thinking of putting this huge steam shower in, but I don't know. But no, we've already done the mud room, we've done the kitchen, we've done the upstairs.
I loved what I did. I had a giant shower. You know what I hate? Shower doors.
Yeah,
I hate
right.
I don't have one. We don't have one.
Walk in,
and then you turn.
Right.
That's how
Or you go in deep enough.
Yeah.
And then I had two of them like this, and then a glass thing. But what I loved most was the drain system I had. It all went to the wall, their perimeter drain.
Really?
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
that's a good idea.
It's a new system,
Yeah.
so it all goes
Instead to the middle.
and it's a tiny, gentle slope, and it goes to there and comes down. You never have standing water.
That's cool.
And also nothing clogs, but it's a perimeter drain like a gutter, but it's very small.
I've never thought of that.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It makes it more sense.
It
doesn't
does. When you say it, it's like, duh.
We have
Yeah.
ours
Instead
is
of all this shit.
Yeah.
we have multiple showers in our shower,
Right.
and that would work perfect.
No, you're right. And then we had the big rain thing on each side, and then had all that.
She uses all. She'll use them both. I just use like the one little one I like.
I had a urinal. I finally wanted a urinal. I hated.
I couldn't get that past her.
I was going to put one in Rick's garage,
And the urinals are wonderful.
but then I built him the
You're more
stage.
I'm on 6 acres. My urinal's right off my deck.
Did you ever call Mike at Classic Hardwood?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep, that's all good.
because you left a message. All right.
Yep, we're all good. I talked to
Are
him
you
yesterday.
putting them back up?
I sent him the contract. We'll see. Do me a favor, though. Stay on top of that DA. I really want this Anders guy put out of business.
Yeah, our biggest thing is Mark Szymanski. Can't get him to
I will
send the
I
stuff.
will
But
bug
I've been
Mark.
gone 2 days.
Well, go bug Mark for me right now.
I did. I already
Okay.
did.
All right.
So we'll see. But the DA's moving forward.
Tell Mark I'm screaming at him.
And I have a call in to Betty, so she should be calling me back.
Okay.
What do you need?
Some aspirin, and I think she might have it.
So I was up.
All right. Okay.
I was
Hi,
up
guys.
till 12 or 1. Then this morning, for over an hour, I was talking to the Remax franchise guy. But I'm about 75% through the plan.
That was weird yesterday when you guys, at noon when it cut off. I was running around. So
We got so
listening
many
to the show.
emails.
Oh
up
my
to
God,
noon.
emails I
Then I
got.
got back in the
I
truck.
didn't
It's
know
like,
you
I
had-
fat fingered something. What
It's
did I do?
basketball.
Did you see the one guy that didn't like how we were talking? They were acting like that kid. No, literally, they have no idea. That kid just needs to pull his fucking pants up, man, by the bootstraps.
No, Mark, I talked to him afterwards. The guy.
Then what do you do with a kid
he
like
has
that?
crippling. I don't know, Mark. I'm not a professional, but I know that it's not just a snap out of it type of thing. It isn't.
I'd love to talk to his parents.
They may not have an accurate assessment either. Right. Just because. I'm not saying you coddle the guy totally, but it's honest to God, when somebody truly is depressed, truly,
And he was lying, by the way.
Why is that?
Go on, Tom. When someone's depressed, what?
you can't just say snap out of it.
No,
and make them do
it's not that
something.
easy. No.
It's
See, that's what's
truly a
going on with
disorder.
Cheryl. That's what's going on with Cheryl. I don't know what to do.
What was he lying?
He never held a job for over 3 months. He said, like, he's gone through, ready for this?
So I told you about buying Bill. Now
I want to tell you, this is saving money, right? Art of Granite, Mitch Fleury, Art of Granite. All of his countertop materials wholesale. He's a direct importer of quartz and granite and all natural stone. And also, he is the best when it comes to customer service. So here's what you do. You call him and get a price. That's what I love about this company. Call and get your price. You give him measurements and a photo or two, and he'll give you a price that the only time it'll change is if you get something other than you told him. But it'll be wholesale countertop material, custom edges, sinks, and cabinets if you want them, and it's all at his golden showroom. After you get your price, if you like it, you go there. Then he comes out and templates the whole thing. It's done in 1 to 4 weeks. You'll never be happier. And he's open 6 days a week. Sorry, 6 days a week, closed on Sundays, and he does the whole Front Range and Mountain communities. 303-386-5919. Call for your price. 303-386-5919. I love saying that because I think more and more companies should do pricing, but they don't. And I know why, because they say, well, it depends, and it's hard. It is hard. Okay, so listen, Lou, we went over this. We've been talking about this. There is no vested interest for anyone to lie to you. I think and I believe the engine mount bolt was stripped and glued back in. And I believe that the people who did it, AutoNation, when they did your alternator. You have records of that repair. You have records of all your repairs. I believe you will win if you sue them in small claims court, and I would start today. We would also like to call them because we do have contacts there. We had some problems before, and they respond to complaints, so we're going to do it too. Now, we can't guarantee results, but we're going to do it. So what you do is start your small claim. It's a very logical suit. You're saying their repair of the alternator caused this problem ultimately, and you have a line to show it, but I wouldn't dispute the cause. It's a very logical thing that that bolt did fail, causing the engine to shift. So small claims court, I would sue where they are located. Where are they located, Lou?
They're Littleton.
Okay, so you would go to, what county is that? Arapahoe? I think, Arapahoe County. So,
Arapahoe.
And you go to the court clerk and get the paperwork. And don't, listen, when we say this, we mean it. We'll walk you through the process, but you got to do it. You really have to do it. They have a registered agent, and Mark, he would name the registered agent and the corporation, right?
No, not the registered agent. That's just who you serve. You're going to name...
that's right. That's who you serve. Who do you name?
You're going to name the corporation.
Okay.
And we're talking... who are we talking?
AutoNation.
Yeah, so you're going to name AutoNation, and there wouldn't be any people involved.
Okay. And they're going to hire an attorney.
And we'll shoot off an email to our guy.
Yeah, we're going to go talk to our guy, okay? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Nikki, what's going on with you, Nikki?
Hi, Tom.
What's happening?
Well, I'm in a townhome, and we got hit by the hailstorm last May.
And so you have your own roof, right?
So the HOA has an insurance policy, and each of us as homeowners have our own insurance.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different. A townhome is a bit different than a condo because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes townhomes leave you with the responsibility of your exterior to the extent that it's your exterior. So tell me the problem. Let's get to that.
We were told to contact insurance, our personal insurance, and make sure we had a proper HO6 coverage, so that when the roofs get replaced this spring, we will use that loss assessment
for your portion.
Right.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to do the replacement, but they're going to go to each townhome owner for their portion.
Exactly.
That's the way it should be.
Yes, and if you have the proper coverage with your HO6, your loss assessment coverage, you should be able to use that to pay for your portion.
Right, that's right.
Well, a couple of us have the Hartford, and they are refusing to pay on this.
Now, why is that? First of all, there's two types of refusals. One is you just don't have the coverage. There's no sense fighting. The other one is they're somehow misinterpreting it. So what is the coverage? Do you have coverage for roof?
Well, my neighbor and I both called to verify that we did, and we were told that we did. However, way into the policy, about 30 pages in, which we didn't know at the time.
Which counts more than what somebody says. Because that's what you signed, that's what you bought. What is your policy? Does it cover roofs or not?
Not if it is covering a deductible. So because my deductible is covering another deductible, they will only pay $1,000. And
I don't understand what you mean. Are they coming to you for your portion of the loss or your portion of the deductible?
Our portion of the deductible.
Oh, so they're not even asking you to fix the roof.
Right. The HOA has
I understand. What is your portion of the deductible?
$4,500.
Now, that's not unusual that HOAs do that. And then in your policy, there are two. You can have a policy that would do the roof, and if you do, then you could do your part of the roof. But if the HOA doesn't allow it, you don't use that coverage. You're paying less for insurance as a result. But there is an assessment and deduction coverage that you don't have, obviously.
The other people do have it.
Right. If, for example, if the parking lot was to be paved and they did a special assessment. Now, normal maintenance they won't cover, but if there's a special assessment because it was pelted by, that's a bad example, but I don't know, whatever, some common area, the swimming pool was damaged, and there's a special assessment. Special assessment coverage is part of most good policies, but you don't have that apparently.
Well, I was told, both of us were
It doesn't
told
matter what you're told.
Yeah.
I know you...
Yeah.
Nikki, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. If you were flat out lied to and induced to buy this policy based on that, that's one thing. But being told after the fact, that doesn't contract them to do it. Nobody said to you, Nikki, buy this policy because we are going to cover everything, and if you get a deductible, we're going to cover it. You're telling me after the fact they said that. So what difference does it make what they told you after the fact? They didn't induce you to buy it. They're not cheating you. You already have the coverage. It's not like you went out and bought it based on what they said. So bottom line, you either have the coverage or you don't. But I'm not so convinced you don't have it. I mean, most people with condos have that, or condos and townhomes.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Okay, let's get Compass on. Well, hold on. Your point is what? Just because most people have it, your point is what? Make the point.
This is the Hartford.
The Hartford is the worst company you could have. No, not the worst. It's the sixth worst. Allstate, State Farm, Farmers, Fred Loya, and American Family are the worst. Then you go to the Hartford, especially when they market through AARP, because...
Yes, that's what I have.
Yep. AARP rips off more seniors than any other organization, and they're supposed to be advocates. And this is my opinion. You look at your coverage right now. Anyone who has AARP, I will beat your coverage and your price right now. Okay? Right now. Let's get our experts on and look at this. 303-713-8255, Absolute Radon Safety for absolute peace of mind. Radon safety. Okay, a lot of people are concerned about radon. Now, whether you're concerned or not doesn't matter, really. You know why? Because when you go to sell your home, it may be an issue. But here, you can have the absolute peace of mind that you not only can get testing done for $20 or around 20 or a little more, depending on the test. Here's the real thing. Once you know you have high levels, whether from a home inspector, someone else, you can get it mitigated for just $899 in most cases. And if it's a really rare case where it's more than that, it's not much more. That's it. Peace of mind. Absolute Radon Safety. Don't let people scare the hell out of you and make you think you got to discount your home by $100,000. No. It's $899 for mitigation. 303-880-0682. 303-880-0682. Look for Absolute Radon Safety on my referral list.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
There appears to be a stall or a minor crash on southbound I-25 approaching Thornton Parkway. Some backups on that stretch. Watch out for activity off to the right shoulder. A few other slow spots on the Highway Drive. Southbound I-25 slow downtown. South of the I-70 interchange traveling down towards Spear. Look out for slow speeds on northbound coming out of the Tech Center. It's heavy from 225 traveling up towards Yale. Once you get north of Evans, the drive does improve. Look out for slow speeds on westbound I-70 in the elevated portion. Westbound.
I know, but he's a hard one to get on.
You know, when you were talking about your fasting, Mark, I think Machowski here had a little, like, almost passed out just thinking about it.
I don't know how you do it because when I drove Dan back to the shop,
I've been doing it for years and years and years.
I was just, my stomach is just talking to me, right? I said, I'm just going to go over here and get an Einstein bagel. So he was telling me, no, I'm fasting like Mark and this and that. When I have done it, just to do it, I just lose all my energy.
But let me explain.
Well, you just power through it.
Yeah. No, let me explain why. Easy. Because your body is not used to burning fat. Your body is used to burning carbs. Once you get used to burning fat, you become an efficient fat burning machine. And you don't, Mark, you don't get lethargic anymore because you learn how to burn fat.
Not at all.
Just taking these 2 chairs.
There's actually a lot of energy in fat.
No, yeah, but here's the deal, okay? I've been doing it for years, but I cheat all the time. That's my problem. I got to get back on it because I have gotten to a point where I say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Let me tell you something. Just cheating once can ruin everything. Like, if I have something that's sweet, even though I was good for 3 days, I mean, it's better than not being bad every day, but it fucks everything up. So your chemistry must be in that mode. It must be in that mode where you are burning fat and you get rolling on it. If you cheat every now and then, it screws it up.
So when your stomach is like totally hurting,
it goes away.
To you.
Yeah, it's a mind. And also, when you go off it, he doesn't just eat shit just because he goes off it. When he says, I'm only going to eat between 4 and 6, he only eats good shit. He doesn't eat just anything. You can't eat just anything. It'll just negate what you did.
Like that one day I was 6 days on, 1 off, and you see guys who've been in jury.
That's stupid.
No, but like when we were in Vegas, I mean, if we go to a nice restaurant, I might have cheesecake or something afterwards. But
you don't even want it.
It's really no noodles, no bread, shit like that.
My doctor says, yeah, but when he says a piece of cheesecake, I'll bet you it's once in a great while, right? Or once a week. Do you treat yourself?
No, I wouldn't say once a week. During restaurant week, a little excessive.
My doctor says, if you're 90% of the time, you're pretty good. As long as on the 10% time, you're not
completely over the top.
But I burn it. Honestly, guys, I eat nothing or drink anything but water or coffee till 4 o'clock. And then sometimes, if we're going out to dinner, I'll go 5 to 7, not 4 to 6.
Wow. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not hungry?
No, I haven't eaten breakfast my whole life, though. That took nothing for me.
See, the whole idea is to get your body to eat when it wants to.
Yeah.
It's eating fat.
And here's a weird
This part is just storing.
I still eat the same amount that I would have if I was eating the other meals. It's not like I taken 3 meals between 4 and 6. I'll have, like last night we had pork roast. I had the same amount I would have a year ago for dinner. There's no, and I feel extremely full, and then I'm not hungry again until 4 o'clock. It took about a month.
Once you
to
do
4 o'clock the next day.
Yeah, I literally, until you guys brought it up, I don't even think of food at this point.
You still eat that street meat, though?
Street meat? Oh, I love fucking hot dogs. But I haven't had, actually, that's weird you say that. I haven't had a hot dog for a while.
But he doesn't use a bun.
No, yeah.
Well, because Valero in these places at 4 o'clock, they don't have fucking hot dogs on the rolls. And if they do, they've been there all day. And you can tell.
God almighty, I screwed up by not taking them.
Is he still on? I'm sorry. He'll come back on. He's a glutton, man.
I know, but it's just going up to the top of the hour. I'm not doing a spot coming out. I'm just going right to it.
He'll stay on. I have no doubt.
Who is this now?
He'll have an
about?
excuse.
This one.
Oh.
It's like Dan always has an excuse.
I'd just like to know where the original engine is.
Well,
all of a sudden it's lost?
Well, it's questions. We're not sure.
I'm Tom Martino, and we're going to go right to
44th Auto. And here's the bottom line. I'm not going to go into the past. I'm not going to do anything right now. We can learn about that later. Right now, it's a very simple issue. James took his car to 44th Auto, and he paid, he tells us, James, you paid up front how much? Or how much total have you paid so far?
$20,926.
All right, so let's just say 21 grand. And here's the only issue. Has the work been done or not? The work on this estimate for 21...
there is one other issue. I thought he was... Last time we talked to Jim, he said he closed up shop and it was gone. So if he's out of business, what does this guy expect him to do?
He said he had cancer. I don't want to make light of that.
Yeah, but I'm not making light. He said he was out of business. And my point is, this is 2014.
I don't remember him saying he was out of business. But let's go to Jim and let him talk for himself. Okay, Jim, I just really want to narrow it down to this invoice right now.
Okay.
So what's the story on it?
Okay. Well, the work.
No. Let Jim talk. Okay, James, the caller, consumer. Let Jim talk at 44th Auto. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. So I just want to clarify, get a proper how this. And you have to know the whole story, because otherwise it's just going to make it.
All right, go ahead then. Go ahead.
First of all, I never said I was going to close down, so I don't know where he gets that idea.
All right, that's fine. We're not going to debate that. Go ahead.
So anyway, this truck, just so everybody understands what this is. You know, this wasn't just a repair. 90% of my work is restoration, not repair. This truck was at 3 other shops before it came to me, and it's in pieces. It's literally a rolling chassis, a cab. It's empty. It's a hole and a box that's on there. That's
okay.
it.
All right.
it's not just a repair, and it's not where I can just put a motor in it and boom, it's gone.
All right.
Everything's out, and it's been through 3 of the shops.
All right,
so,
we got that background.
So Jim brings, well, he comes in and he wants this motor put in. He's a referral from another shop that it was at, because that's
all right.
what I do.
So we can get to the part where he agreed to this $21,000.
Well, okay, so it's a little more than that. So what happens? I go down. We talk about this. I need to look at it. So we go on down to the shop, and then I get my flatbed, and we get it towed into the shop here, and it sat here for about a week or so or two. I started looking it over, and he came in, and there was a motor that came with it from another shop.
Okay.
3 previous shops from me. And so we looked at it, and it was a basic builder's grade motor. It was nothing special.
All right.
See, Jim didn't want just a motor. He wanted a motor. And primarily, I'm in the performance business, and so that's what I do. You know, I build motors.
All right, so you ended up at some point with this estimate for $21,000.
Okay, so, well, it's a little more than that. So what happened? I mean, I wish I could condense.
No, I understand, but you're telling us stuff we already know, though. I mean, let's get to the part that he agreed to a certain amount of work for a certain amount of money.
Okay, so, no, he agreed to put a motor in. Okay, now, we built the motor for him. He didn't want a...
I understand. He wanted a high-performance engine. Then what?
Okay, but there's 2 different motors. There's 3 different motors here that we're talking about, not just one. Okay, so he wanted this motor built. And we told him what it was. It was going to be a naturally aspirated, which means carbureted engine, and there's the cost. Okay, so he doesn't have the money to pay for it.
But
so
Jim, hold on. I really want you to have time, but you're really going over stuff that isn't. Let's get to the part. The money he did pay. What did he get? Let's just boil it down.
Okay,
let's make it easy. Hold on a sec.
Are you retired?
Let's just get
So
to it.
I think you're forgetting who you're dealing with.
At some point, we got
Everything that comes out of his mouth is shit.
It seems like to me, though, the engine that was in the vehicle.
No, it wasn't. It was on a stand.
I understand, but it was in the back of the truck, right?
Well,
But what does that have to do? Does this include the high-performance engine?
Yes.
Okay, did he pay the money?
Yes.
Then what the fuck are we talking about?
Exactly.
What difference does it make about the other engines? What difference does it make? That's what I want to know. What difference
This is
does
the
it
same
make?
guy that okey-doked the guy over in Iraq. I mean, come on.
Okay,
What difference does it
man,
make?
since you're not,
It's Jimmy.
he's not pissed at all of it. Just please tell him we're going to get back to him. And we really just want to tell him we'll let him continue when we come back, okay? Just let him. I'm good.
Am I crazy, or did he say he had cancer and shut down the fucking
he
shop?
he said he's winding things up, is what he said, and he has cancer. Yes, he
And he
said.
missed this about winding it up.
But that was before he took this.
No.
How long has he had this?
Since 2012. Since 2012.
This says 14.
Yeah.
Probably.
Way. Yeah.
That's what I said. It was before.
Yes. This invoice, he had it all paid.
So
by
this
the time
was
he had
sitting there
cancer.
when he had the other problem. Yeah.
This invoice came 18 months after he had the truck sitting in his...
Wait, so the guy paid before?
He took it, Jim came and got it, Weiss came and got it.
I know that.
Okay. 18 months later, he was given this invoice.
First payment was 2014.
But during that year and a half, the guy paid nothing.
No, right.
Why the fuck would it sit there for 2 years?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when this guy's got, anyway. And then he started paying on it. He finished paying. His last payment was 2016.
15.
Okay, so he finished paying
in 2016.
Okay.
Barely, yeah, sure enough.
And now he doesn't know. And he's got that other engine.
He actually, for argument's sake, he was done paying in September of 2015, except for $200.
Right.
And that wasn't even on the invoice. That $260 wasn't even on the invoice. But he paid for a blower system, $4,500 for that blower system.
In that.
$8,800 for the engine.
But none of the shit's there, right?
We don't know. Yeah.
And the truck had a brand new paint job on it, sitting outside the whole
Listen,
time.
I want you to bring your Santa Fe over to Jim Weiss and tell him you want a blower on it, and you're going to pay him in advance, and we're going to see if he comes through for you.
This is terrible, guys. This is just terrible.
It is terrible.
We need to get that.
It's Jim Weiss.
This is.
It's the Weasel.
Come on, be a little more respectful.
What kind of problems have you had with this guy?
Oh my God, he made my
the
Christmas
same
show.
thing.
Can you look at one?
You fixed it. The sailor. You put his car back
Mini
together.
Cooper or something?
Something from out of the country.
Oh, you did that Cooper? You did the Mini Cooper?
Yeah.
That's the one that came from him.
Oh.
You got it in boxes, right?
He charged the guy, it was a ridiculous amount. Then
he
he wasn't
threatened
going to
him.
give the car back because he was going to charge him $20 a day for the last 5 fucking years or whatever.
Yeah.
So he literally wasn't going to give his car back.
Right. And he's going to charge him storage.
Where's money?
He's going to charge him storage.
So you got that handled, and he still got ripped off, but he got his car back at least. He wasn't going to get it. Jim was going to keep it. Then, not long after that, we had one where the whole cancer thing came up, but the car wasn't actually at the shop. It was at his house, remember? That's why I thought he closed down, because the guy kept saying, it's not at the old
Was
shop.
that him? There was another guy who had a body shop or something that had cancer.
No, it's
This guy had
possible.
it. This guy had it.
Was it? Okay, I remember there was another guy.
That's nuts.
Well, like I said, the big thing is, he's going to tell you he had it in boxes, but he knew about it,
Well, he knew it was in boxes because he's the one who picked up the box.
and he got the estimate 18 months later.
Yeah.
So it was sitting in his...
It's not like he made an estimate over the phone and then saw what he got into. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, good point.
And in here, he's charging $2,000. I don't know, put all this stuff together, I don't know how much it
Yeah,
costs.
seems about right. Especially if you haven't taken it apart before and you have to take off where someone left off.
Yeah.
You know,
Come on,
it might take you a little longer.
Yeah, but he's charging $2,800 to put the motor and the wiring harness.
Right, $2,000 for the motor, just an install.
Yeah, but I mean, it installs wiring.
And put the
harness.
flooring system
Right.
all
You know what I
on.
mean?
Yeah,
It's different
okay.
motors. I mean, you hang the harness on the motor and you drop it in. So
Right.
And he's...
$3,000 labor. That's
Yeah.
enough.
That's, yeah.
So if he's willing to
That's
get rid
enough
of it,
R&R.
if he's willing to give, this $20,000 back and the motor, pull that truck out of it. But that truck had a brand new paint job on it. It's been sitting outside since
Because of all the hail
2012.
damage fixed?
Yes,
Right.
since 2012.
Well, but I mean, the guy was okay with leaving it there, so I mean, you can't really go there.
He used to go there. He's an old guy.
He's
And
been
I was just thinking about Mark, we're talking about this,
So
that
he's
differential
concerned with
job
go
from
buy a
50
truck
hours
or
on
something.
motor.
right. You're right.
It's not
How that lady never called you back with all the stuff that you've done to help
When
her
I was
out.
talking to Jim the first time, he mentioned, well, I should be charging storage. I said, what do you mean charging storage? He paid you money. So, okay,
No, that was an agreement to make payments. You don't charge storage when you have a payment arrangement.
Exactly.
But he was going to charge that guy that guy in the military. That was one of the biggest costs in storage.
What's that?
That military guy. He was going to charge storage for that Mini Cooper.
Oh, it's just, I can't even think of that. I mean, Jim Weeze, he is a fucking weasel. He literally is a weasel.
Well,
I think he's got 4 legs.
No more respect, Mark. No more respect.
Does the shop have a lot of bad reviews?
Yeah.
It's in the middle of absolutely nowhere, too.
It's Bennett. It's that town.
It's further than Rolly's place. Wow. Rolly hates it when I act how far
So you want to
away.
look
He
at-
acts like, I swear to God, if you hear him talk, his shop is like right down the road.
Yeah, find new roads.
Rolly. He's so funny.
Yeah, but when you live
Or-
out in places like that, 30 miles
You're right.
is nothing.
That's exactly
Yeah, by
right.
helicopter.
Okay.
Yeah. No, when I used to live out
Well,
in
when you're
places,
going for a
30
major
miles.
purchase like a Corvette, it's
It's not
far away.
No, that's not my whole
Normal
point.
service, no, you're right. You're right.
But my whole point is he makes it sound like it's right here. I drove out there that one day. Christ, I'm still driving. In fact, I'm not even sure I'm here.
So your thought as you were driving is, when am I going to get there?
There might be a quicker way. Well, remember, I left from Franktown, though.
Well, yeah, okay, but it's 10 minutes.
And there's
past
no,
the
like,
flea market.
direct way. It's like, you got to go east, west up to 25.
Okay.
Then you got to go north.
Okay,
Then
so
you got to go back east.
Once you got to
He's not
I-25
going
and
to
the
like
Boulder
you anymore
Turnpike,
talking about it like that.
once you got to I-25 and the Boulder
You can take
Turnpike,
both
how long
back
did it
roads
take to
and
get
go
down there,
straight
would you say?
Take gravel roads.
God, I don't remember.
Hi, I'm Tom
Martino, your troubleshooter. This hour brought to you by Plumline Services for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. We are a consumer advocacy show. We help you And the way we help you is by getting directly involved. I'm going to get right back to a business owner. I think it's very important when they take their time out to come on. So listen, quickly about Plumline. A free furnace with the purchase of an air conditioning system. I urge you to do your homework, shop around, and you'll find what you'll find. Plumline has stellar reviews, is a great company, and a company that you're going to want to do business with for all of your home services, plumlineservices.com. And they also have free second opinions if you're told you need a furnace or something major on any plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains. And they have their own drain division as well. They don't hire middlemen. 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086, plumlineservices.com. Let me sum this up, okay? And I really want to get to it. This is a consumer problem that actually predates the previous problems we've had with 44th Auto and Bennett. But the other problems were similar. Jim Weiss took money, and we, in those cases, could not justify the work done. And we got the cars back, and people moved on. In this case, I just want to summarize this, because I know Jim feels he has to give us a lot of background, and I understand it was a cluster. This vehicle was going to be a full restoration. He wanted a high-performance engine. He went to several other shops. Jim actually went over and picked it up from another shop, and it came with some engines, but this guy didn't want the engines. So it sat at Jim's for 18 months. And then Jim came up with an invoice that totaled, I'm rounding it up just by a few, it's $21,000. Okay? Now, this guy paid that $21,000, not in one lump sum, but by September 2015, all but $200 was paid. He paid the rest in 2016. So basically, it was paid $21,000 in 2016. 15. In 2015, in September, was the all but $200.
That's right.
Yeah. And then in 2016, he paid the balance. Bottom line is, it was paid. All we want to know is, it really doesn't matter what happened before, because Jim took a look at it. For 18 months, he had it. So the bottom line is, with this invoice, that's all I want to know. There's $21,000 paid. Is the work done that's on the invoice? We're not holding Jim responsible for anything else except what he said he would do on the invoice. Now, Jim, I can't be any more clear than that. I don't know what the previous story has to do with any of that. So go ahead, Jim.
Okay, well, first of all, Tom, and I'll give you the condensed version because that's what you want. He didn't finish paying this thing. It took him almost 2 years because it was from 4/24/14 to 2016.
That's what I said.
Here,
I said that.
Okay, well, no, you said all paid in 15.
I said all but $200. Jim, what difference does it make? It's all paid.
Talk for a minute, Jesus Christ.
It's all paid, Jim.
No, absolutely not. There was a change order twice on it.
Okay, where are those?
There was a change order from naturally aspirated engine to a supercharged engine after I already built one motor. Okay. Then after that, he wanted me to restore the whole vehicle. So when it first came in, he didn't want the whole truck restored. He just wanted a motor. Okay, after my motor was built, he changed order for a supercharged motor. So there's 2 motors on that. Okay, and then restoration.
So when he wanted the supercharged motor, you did a change order?
A change order from a naturally aspirated, which is carbon engine.
I understand. Okay, so that would have brought it up to more than $21,000.
Yeah, well, I'd already had the other motor built, too. That's the problem, Tom. I had 2 motors built.
Okay, so hold on, Dan. What were you going to say? I mean,
Jim. Well, then why isn't it on this invoice?
No, he said it was a change order. Hold on, just hold on one sec, James. Caller James. I want to ask you a very simple question, James. This work order for $21,000. Did you change after this invoice to a turbocharged or supercharged engine?
I didn't really want a supercharged. I just wanted
James, did you the invoice that you have for $21,000? I really want to keep this simple. Did you have any changes from this work order?
Just small block Chevy motor, forced induction specific, and
so you wanted a normally aspirated engine.
Yeah.
You did not want a supercharged or turbocharged engine. That's what you're saying.
Well, it has a supercharger scoop on it, but crate motor that I had before was a 383.
James, I'm not asking that. Listen, this is a very simple question. Listen, I hold Jim's feet to the fire. I want to ask you. You signed an invoice here for $21,000 and you paid it. Did you expect for that price to have a turbocharged engine, or were you satisfied with a normally aspirated engine? That's a very simple question.
Yeah, wanted the supercharged scoop force induction on the motor.
But you did not want the supercharger.
Well, the supercharger was supposed to be toned down to the compression ratio so it wouldn't blow my engine or my
So you did want a supercharger?
Yes.
Okay. So then there was a change from this, but even with that change, Jim, that would have been a small portion of the $21,000, right? I mean, in other words,
no.
He should have gotten something for the $21,000.
But he did.
Well, yeah.
What did he get?
Okay, so when you build a high compression engine, you just can't throw a supercharger on it because they're not compatible.
Okay.
So you have to build another small the block itself to be able to.
So what happens to the old engine?
Well, I eat it, I guess. So, but so let's fast forward. He made a change to that. At the time, he wanted the supercharger, and I have video. My shop is loaded with cameras.
Go ahead. Just I'm taking you at your word right now because I want to hear your side.
Okay. So at the time, now because this truck is in array and there's nothing there, there was pieces missing all over the place, and there's not even a transmission in it. And when I build these motors, I put them on a stand. They're run and broke in on a dyno, and then they're installed in the engine, and it takes very little time to install them in a Chevy truck. Most of the work is outside of it.
Okay.
So, did the change order. I have a motor. He stopped payment on it, or stopped paying on it, wanted me to do the restoration, even brought the interior down for me to take over to the upholstery shop to get done.
Was that on the original invoice, the interior?
No, that's not the original invoice.
Okay, so he changed two major things. He wanted a supercharged engine, plus he wanted you to do the entire interior and restoration.
Restore everything. There's no brakes on it, the shocks, the suspension.
So how much more, hold on, you got the $21,000, how much more would all that work cost?
Oh, God, another $20,000.
You told me $40,000 more.
40 more?
That's what you told me.
Well, hold on.
Okay, there's for restoration and cost, and they're different.
But Jim, what I don't understand. Okay, I think the guy just got in too deep, and I'm not saying you did everything right. He paid 21 grand. I don't know where that money is. Now, James, I need to ask you a very simple question again. I want you to keep it simple. Do you have the money? Let's just say if you take all of the things that need to be done to restore this truck and it all comes up to 50 grand, let's just say that. Do you have the money for this?
No, I wouldn't have done. If he would have told me how much it was going to cost, I wouldn't have done business with him.
But James, why is he the third shop?
Because the other shops, they slacked. They said they were going to do the work, and they never did the work either.
Did you change your mind a lot?
No.
I don't think this is, listen, I know how much, guys, I'm just going to be straight. I know how much we're prejudiced against Jim Weiss at 44th Auto because of previous problems. And I know we want to believe that he is somehow ripping this guy off. And I don't think it's the greatest deal in the world, but I hear a lot of problems with this consumer, and it's unfair for me to say I don't. I don't think this guy calculated the cost nor knew what he was getting into. And he has now the $21,000, we can figure out what does he have in this truck. And you said you wouldn't have gotten involved if you knew how much it was. But James, I believe that it would have cost this much no matter where you went for the amount of work. I don't understand. If you already had an engine and then you say, I want to change it to a supercharged engine, he's right. He basically has to do the block over again and redo it, especially the head. I mean, it sounds to me like that was not a good decision.
So where does it sit now? Can he come down and pick it up? I don't know where it sits
now. That's the thing. James, what do you want right now? If you had to wave your magic wand, what do you want?
The truck back and all the parts.
And
money.
Well, yeah.
No, here's what I think. I think he should get his truck back. I will ask him. I think he should get all his money back, and then all his parts and any money that was not used for obvious work. If Jim shows him a short block that he built, and it doesn't have, and it's normally aspirated, and he gets that back, fine. If there is money spent that is not accounted for in 21,000, truly spent, then he should keep it. If not, he should give it back. I mean, it all comes down, right, Mark? I mean, it's math. But I suspect that Jim Weiss at 44th Auto did not spend 21 grand on this vehicle.
Let's ask him.
I suspect that. But hold on a second, and we'll do this again. I hate keeping going over this, but Jim, if he wanted to cut bait right now, take his truck and all his parts, go to the fourth person, I don't know. At this point, do you feel that there's any money that you owe him out of the 21,000 he's paid? That's a very simple question.
Tom, I've got 1.5 motors built for this thing, and I'm eating one motor already. And with the addition for the restoration, the parts that I purchased that were missing, I'm into this truck right now for just a parts invoice with no labor on the truck itself, because I really didn't do
For how much?
$21,233.34.
So you're saying for him to get his parts and truck back, he would still owe you money as it sits right now?
Right now, he can take his new motor that I built for him and all of his parts that I purchased for him, take it, and he can go somewhere else and get him out of my hair.
And no money either way.
No money, and he can take all of his parts. And
okay, hold on. Now, I don't know what to do. Now, Dan, you're shaking your head. Why?
Because he knew that the way the truck was when he wrote up this darn invoice.
Okay. But
Jim, you're lying. Okay. You're absolutely lying.
What about James? What about James who changed midstream what kind of engine he wanted?
Let's see that workover change then. Let's see that change order.
He admitted it, that he said he wanted the supercharged engine.
You're talking to James's son, Jim Jr. And so let's see the work order change. Let's see it. Let's go in the shop and look at the engine.
I just talked to him, and he said yes, he wanted a supercharged engine.
I doubt there's a usable engine to pick up.
The estimate has a supercharger on it, though.
The 21,000 one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, Jim, if that already has a supercharger on that 21,000.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you look at the statement of accounting on here,
but what about the supercharger that was included in the 21,000?
Yeah, how about the fact it was brought down in 2012. It's 2018. The guy's giving him 21,000 like he asked for, and his vehicle's still down at 44th Auto.
I understand. But, Mark, that vehicle sat for 1.5 years, and I don't know why it did, but guess what?
Anything that shows up at Jim Weiss's shop sits for years.
I'm not sticking up for Jim Weiss, but you got to understand, James took 2 years to pay after that. So if James was in a hurry, why did it take him that long to pay? We got to look at this both ways. All I care about is when he gets that back, will he have parts and labor equaling 21? It all comes down to that. That's what we need to know. And the only way we're going to know it is if James goes and gets his stuff and then we evaluate it. And keep in mind, as much as I don't like the past cases with 44th Auto, keep in mind that this case is screwed up on both sides.
The guy's a weasel, in my opinion.
Okay, that's great. And I'm not cheerleading for him, but I got to look at this objectively right now. 303-713-8255. Let's switch to something good like Simply Floors, Inc. Oh, what a breath of fresh air Buddy Mitchell is when you're looking for floor coverings. If you look at the big boxes, you will find that they say they have the best prices, but no, they don't. You know, he's been able to compete with these big boxes because he's part of a buying group, and then he passes the savings on to consumers with less overhead and just better service and less profit. That is simplyfloorsinc.com. 52nd and Ward is the showroom, but you can make an appointment in your home anytime you want. Well, of course, if there's an opening on that schedule. Simplyfloorsinc.com. Save up to 40% on all the floor coverings. Don't go to a big box where you're just a number. Go to simplyfloorsinc.com.
I don't know what to do with this one.
Okay. I don't understand what's different that the customer wanted than that's on here.
Yes, right.
That's
Okay,
what
let me.
okay.
we tell the shop, you just do this. He paid you for this. You deliver the vehicle with all this
No,
stuff.
but I don't understand what he's saying the guy changed. What did he change?
That's on this. That's on
Right.
this.
Then he said he wanted a naturally aspirated engine.
But why?
Changing it.
But it lists carburetor and everything else on here. This
Right,
estimate should
carburetor,
have
the
been
blower.
Yeah.
None of it fucking makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
And then what does he say? He goes, when you asked him that, he goes, well, look at the accounting.
I know it. It's just, you know
And
what?
it took the customer 2 years, and it sat at his shop for 18 months. I got it.
This guy-
So deliver the car to the customer, just what's on here.
Or at least
running.
the parts adding
No,
up.
not a basket case. No, it's all together. It's drivable.
You don't know
with
what the
this.
truck was driving.
Mark,
But he says there's no
the truck
tranny,
was
there's
in
no
the
brakes.
truck was a basket case when he brought it in.
Yeah.
So this would not and wasn't intended to make it drive away.
Correct.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was part of it. That's the problem. Then the guy said, why don't you do the whole thing? And that's where it became more, and no one has a written record of it. But he admits that he wanted Jim to go ahead and do more.
What was the more, though?
It would have been but more than
Making
that,
it drivable.
it would have been the complete assembly. This does not include assembly, guys.
Sure does. Sure does.
I'm talking about the whole truck.
Right.
Not just the engine.
Right.
Well, then how come he's not including
The fucking consumer himself knew that when he did this complete thing, it wouldn't have been driven away.
Yeah.
He knew it.
Yeah.
You know, listen, I want to go after Weiss, but I'm not going to fucking make up stories.
I know it, but this says build and install. All he got.
That's the engine. It was still
But we
a complete job.
But we know the engine's not in there.
It was still going to be incomplete, though, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll bet you we go there and not a thing has been done with the interior.
I don't doubt that. I don't fucking doubt it.
Let's go
But
and
I'm
look at
letting
the
him.
interior. I'll bet you
I'm
found an
giving
engine
him the
there.
rope. But Dan, the point is, even if this guy had done everything, it was still a fucking basket.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
And
I
that's
told the
the
guy.
problem.
I told the
But
guy several times.
I agree with you. If we Do you understand that this guy's original plan was to have somebody do this, somebody do that?
Yep.
He was going to general contract this
Yes.
thing.
All Jim was going to do
Why are we
was get
talking
the
to
engine
the
in
son?
there.
You wouldn't be able to understand that.
This guy,
He's 84 and Parkinson's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see where this could have been fucked from the beginning?
Absolutely, but back when this started, he wasn't in a bad shape.
How do you know that?
Listen.
Well, because I talked to the body shop.
Well, his best bet is to just go get his stuff and get out of there.
We'll get the
They're
money.
never, you know
You're
what?
not going to get any money.
No.
Are you kidding? He was asking for more, kind of.
You know, but I wouldn't let this prolong because then he'll never get in.
He should get his shit right now. I'm not going back.
The fucking guy's a weasel, man.
He is, but
Mark,
you know,
I don't doubt it.
I know.
But I got
a 5-year plan is
It's just, all I'm saying is, anytime we get a problem on this fucking guy, the vehicle's been there for years. It's so fucking weird. What other shop do we get where every problem is, Jim Weiss has had my car for years?
What was the deal with the Cooper that I did? Because I kind of...
He had it for years.
I kind of don't remember.
He wanted to keep it.
And said that he spent all this money.
Yes.
He said, the guy owes me $20 a day.
Okay, he had the head off.
I don't need
Okay,
storage.
he had the cylinder head off. Okay, I remember the Cooper. It was an older one.
Yes.
Okay,
Mark
I
European.
remember.
No,
Dan,
he couldn't get parts.
and he worked for that veteran at all.
Wasn't
He took
a
it
vet.
apart.
He was
He took it
active.
apart. He was
But
active.
Chelsea put it back
He took it
together.
apart.
Huh?
Right.
I don't
Mark
think.
put it
No,
back
I remember.
together.
The head was off. It was an older Cooper. I remember the vehicle.
It was an older European.
Right. I remember it.
I
Okay.
would love to go out there with
Let's
you.
absolutely.
He needs to go get his stuff.
Look at 44th Avenue.
I still don't understand why he can't just get his truck back.
It's like in the middle of
See if
nowhere.
there's a field next
Why
door.
can't he just get his truck back running?
Oh, you get a
like this?
helicopter up?
That was the 21
Yeah, there's all
grand.
kinds of fields up there.
Dan, do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I
The
absolutely.
customer paid this.
I bet the entire vehicle's just
I'll bet you
no
nothing-
engine in it.
nothing-
Joe Lazara is a criminal defense
Attorney, you've been accused of a crime? I hope not. I hope you never need him. Joe Lazara, if you're stupid enough to drink and drive, even if you have to get what you have coming, You still need an attorney to get through the system. I'm hoping that you use Uber or Lyft or a designated driver, or you don't smoke marijuana. Why people think marijuana is less harmful than alcohol when it comes to driving, it puts you in a stupor similar to it. And LazaraLegal.com can help you through the system. You notice I don't say help to get you off of this. Now, if you're falsely accused, of course, but even if you're guilty and you just want to go through it, you need someone to help you. You really do. 303-429-6200 should be one of your first calls. 303-429-6200. Joseph A. Lazara, attorney at law. Listen, I'm not going back to any of this. I'm just going to sum this up. It is a cluster, and there have been many similar problems like this with 44th Auto. I'm not a cheerleader for them, but what I'm saying is this guy, he's in his 80s. We're talking to his son, and he has Parkinson's disease as well, and I'm telling you there's a possibility no one knew what the hell was going on, but I will say for $21,000, what did he get? It's all going to come down to that. What did he get? Did he truly get the parts that are here? And what's going to happen?
If I send, let's ask him this, Tom. Seriously, if I send iron cast down their recovery, our tow guys at our cost.
He said he would let it go.
Well, is everything like in the bed of the truck? Is the tow truck driver going to have to pick stuff up? What are we going to deal with if a tow truck shows up tomorrow?
If we send a tow truck, a flatbed there, where are all? Can you gather everything together in one spot?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I just want to analyze it. No matter what, James, you got to get your father's stuff out of there. But I want to make something clear. They never intended, when Jim Weiss at 44th Auto was done with this, that the truck would be done. This was a process of complete restoration, okay? I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying it like it is. This guy's been to 3 previous shops, and you notice he said they didn't do the work either, or 2 previous shops. This is the 3rd shop, I believe, and even if Weiss did everything on this contract, it would still need the interior and other assembly. So all I'm getting at is this.
All we care about is if they're what was supposed to be there was an engine in there installed, ready to go.
Right. And he paid for that. What did he get? Now, if James or Jim Weiss spent more money doing the additional stuff and therefore can account for it, I just want to take total money in and total money out. People always want to sidestep math. It's simple. $21,000 paid. What exactly was spent? Not what would have been spent, but what was spent. Enough said, okay? People, you can avoid this kind of problem. Brian Burns, Compass Insurance Group, I have them on for a reason, because this special assessment, it's really not a special assessment. I have some simple questions for you, Brian. What does special assessment coverage, what does it cover?
In the term that they use in a policy is actually loss assessment, but I know what you're saying. It's for assessments that
like
come down through the. First off, the best way to think about it is whatever the assessment is from, it must be a covered peril. In other words, if it's maintenance of any kind, if it's painting,
it won't.
They're not going to cover that.
If there was hail damage on the building and it had to be repainted, and each person,
that's right,
and each person was assessed their share, would it be covered?
Yes.
Okay. What about a roof? If a roof was done, and they say to you, "We want you to pay your portion, but not of the roof."
It's of the deductible.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm finding more and more policies that have language that you can show that you have a loss assessment coverage of, let's say, $10,000, okay?
Right.
And you will find buried in that policy that they will pay the $10,000 unless it is as the result of an HOA deductible, in which case they will limit it down to a certain figure, maybe $1,000.
That's exactly what she has. Yep.
Why
can't you make what if you had, do you doubt as a townhome she has roof coverage anyway, right? She doesn't because it's a townhome, right?
Right, yeah, I mean, you can put dwelling coverage on a townhome, but it's really for the interior dwelling.
Okay.
Ultimately, the HOA is responsible for the exterior.
All right. So, Nikki, that's exactly what happened to you. They said, we're going to pay you $1,000, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's because you probably do have loss assessment coverage, or what I call special assessment coverage, but you do not have deductible coverage, which is so crazy because it's a covered peril. It's a covered peril.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I just want people to be aware, because I'm looking at my endorsement page and it says loss assessment coverage, $30,000, total limit $31,000. And if it would just have an asterisk next to it so that I knew to look further, so that I would have known that that did not apply if it was for a deductible. I just feel like it was a little bit deceptive.
You know what? I totally agree with you. I hate that endorsement, and I'm not saying, I know that we have some carriers that
it's just the way it
sounds pretty ambiguous.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It does seem like they should be much more upfront. If they say that there's loss assessments of $30,000, there should be something right there that says does not apply to an HOA deductible. But I even hate that, because what portion of the loss assessment claims are going to be because of an HOA deductible? I'm going to tell you right now, it's a large percentage.
Right, most of them.
Because that's what happens.
What if Nikki was assessed? What about sewer and water district assessment? It doesn't cover anything except a covered peril.
It has to be a covered peril. That's right. They're not going to cover things that would.
So if your parking lot needs to be repaved because it's old and you get assessed $3 or $4 grand, you're out of luck.
That's not going to be covered.
You know, most people, they don't understand this.
Just like if you had, if your house, if you had to have your driveway report, the concrete, that's not going to be covered underneath your home policy. Right. The same idea with this. It's not going to cover claims for things that wouldn't be covered anyways.
Okay. Okay, Nikki, I'm afraid you're out of luck. You really are. Norwood, is that your name?
That is, Tom. How are you?
Cool. That's a weird name, Norwood. Where does it? I bet you it's a last name of some relative they wanted to remember.
Yeah, it's my father.
It's his last name or his first name?
Oh no, his first name.
Really? Okay. So anyway, what's going on, man?
Yeah, so I'm training for the PST test or the public safety training.
Okay.
I joined Snap Fitness just so I'd have a gym to be working out in.
Okay, what's the problem?
We bought a year membership. And this is going to be funny. You'll like this. They are from Boulder, and we're from Boulder, and we happen to both be out here relocated in Long Beach, Washington. So I felt very comfortable buying a year from them. Well, we worked out for 3 months. It got kind of intolerable. It became really busy, and they have equipment that's not being maintained.
Yeah, and you're going to see all kinds of exclusions in their stupid policy or in their membership. But hold on, and we'll get to that, okay? Listen, people, I'm really sorry about this, but we have an abbreviated show where we're trying to squeeze all the spots and everything in. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center will give you a free hearing evaluation. I want you to know something, okay? Most places should do this. By law, you have the right to return hearing aids within 30 days anyway. Now, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, they go beyond that. They know what your rights are, but you know, the other places don't even tell you. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center says, come and try it out. They embrace that, and they want to help you find the right instrument. And they'll give you trial periods on more than one instrument if the first one doesn't work. Go to see them, not just for tinnitus. We talk about that a lot, but for hearing aids. Good old hearing aids. I have them. I love them. They also help with my tinnitus. They also have permanent solutions for tinnitus. They're good people. So remember now, by law, if you go anywhere, you should go here. But you have 30 days if you're not happy. Like right now, if you're not happy, take it back. Go back to then go to Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. 303-534-0163. 303-534-0163.
Want to go out there next week, Mark?
I'll go out anywhere. It's out in the middle of nowhere. There's fields everywhere.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
On Google Earth, I'm going to love it.
Well, why do you care about fields?
I want to land
a helicopter out there.
Just in a big field.
I just Googled the address, 50365 East 88th.
I would go out there. I can guarantee you, his one motor's missing that he bought, the brand new one, and I'll bet you there's no built motor.
Oh, and I didn't put that on there. The motor missing.
Look at a vehicle and know if it's flooded. Been flooded. He thinks he bought a vehicle from Foundation.
And he thinks it was flooded?
In a flood.
Oh,
yeah, you could pull up the carpeting.
There's some things are obvious.
some things are, so you can.
Oh, yeah. We should have a show on that, because there's going to be a lot of cars coming up here.
Yeah, there might be a water line, like underneath the gas tank.
Smell, water line.
And you're not supposed to sell flooded vehicles, right?
Right.
Right.
If they were totaled.
Yep. If it was flooded, it's total.
Okay.
But yes, you can tell.
But you can sell a flood car.
If you let them know.
Yeah.
If you let them know, but what if they didn't know?
That, well, you're supposed to disclose it.
If they didn't.
What makes the customer think it's been flooded?
A lot of, the latch for the hatch doesn't work, so we looked at it, it says there's a bunch of dirt in there, and then the instrument cluster
Yeah, we
is
can
screwed.
look if it's that obvious, yeah.
I don't see anything here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty obvious.
I said there's nothing out there.
I don't even see his shop. What is it? Is
I
it
know,
at
it's
his
a field.
house?
I don't know, it must be, yeah. Well, he said, is there a field near it?
No. Come on, I don't think
That's the address, I don't know.
I don't think that's really the place. Mark says it's a really big place.
And then,
No, this is not it.
the
He said
domain was for
Well,
sale?
yeah, his domain is for
He
sale.
said it was right in town. Why would someone want to buy 44th Auto?
I don't know.
Well, that is not even a name.
No, he had a place that was.
Well, it's not here.
Here, I'll find the picture of it.
He's got a new,
Is it in a town?
Yeah, Dan, that's what
I knew he
didn't
did.
write
He
that
did.
down.
He shut that. He did
I'll
shut
have to know
that
where
thing
that's
down.
at.
I knew he did.
no, I told him, I told this Jim Hollander, I said, okay, if you got to give him $5,000 and you get everything.
No, I wouldn't give my dime. Just get it.
No, $5,000, everything but $5,000 back. So, 16,000 back.
Oh, he's not.
No way.
He won't even get a judgment for that.
Why
All
not?
Jim has to show, is he built an engine.
Yeah, but then he owes him
What he's got to show.
$2,800. Then he owes him $2,800 because he didn't provide the
He
labor
owes
to
him
put
what
it in.
else? He owes him whatever he didn't do.
Or all the parts, all the parts.
That's all I said.
Okay.
Money in, money out.
Right.
Right.
Well, no,
I'm
I
not
totally agree there,
assuming-
Tom. If you
I'm
can get
not
all this
assuming-
stuff and the other engine, I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's the one that's in the field.
Yeah, that's not his.
And
What's
the
his
transmission, where it went, everything else.
It was in the vehicle.
He did. He closed down this shop,
Right.
and now he operates out of his fucking house.
But my question is, if he had the vehicle, why would he just do it for the engine?
The last complaint we had
You
on
can't
does he
bring
do
lots.
the vehicle
motorsports
was in
news
the house.
publication?
Yes, absolutely. How'd you know that?
Yeah, go right here.
How'd you know
Click on
that?
one.
Because that's what is showing on this Google map out in the field.
Yes. So
Oh,
it's
I
a
thought that was
Facebook thing that he goes interviews. He goes around to California, whatever car shows, and he interviews people that are bringing in cars. That's his job now. He got divorced. He
This guy's life is.
Yeah.
and it should be. I mean, this
He's a
guy,
fan. He doesn't know what.
even that military guy, he got his car back. That military guy
No, so
lost all
people are
his-
no longer going to get ripped off, right? No, I mean he's out, right? He's not taking new stuff, or is he?
He may. Who knows?
No,
I mean,
I
this-
asked
this
him. He
is
said, "I never said I was going out of business." He closed that whole building down. He probably got evicted from that building, and now I think he's working. Here's a problem with going out there. I think it's the barn at his fucking house.
What was the deal last week when we were here? That one guy.
So Snap-on came to repossess
That
tools,
was a contractor. That's
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
How did you know that?
Oh,
I
okay.
can't tell you.
Why?
Well, I guess I can.
Just don't
So,
say it on.
another customer, there. They came out to get them. They were all gone.
Of course. So this is a bad dude, man.
And he's from Bennett,
He's
small town, and he's a thief. After on this, he's an absolute thief.
I know.
And how he does it, he takes it, holds it, keeps the money, then just gives the vehicle back. Saying,
No, that
hey,
he waits until they say uncle.
yes,
Uncle.
that's right.
Listen, I
That's
need
very
out.
good.
I need
Right.
out.
Right.
And then they're willing to walk away.
Right. That's exactly right.
Holy shit! What a scam.
He's
So what do we do though? What do we do about a guy that doesn't give a shit?
Well, you don't do anything. You just keep bitching about it. There's nothing else.
Hi, Tom Martino
Here, welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. Pro Auto Care, your auto nannies. You know, I got my experts here right now, and Sheridan Auto Tech and Budget A1 Transmission Auto Repair. Add to that group of exclusive, really great shops, Pro Auto Care, Alaramas, and they will do reminders. They will take your VIN number, put it in the system, whatever the manufacturer recommends or whatever you need on a regular maintenance. They keep track. They estimate your mileage based on past habits. It's being part of a family. In between every single repair or maintenance call, you get 36,000 miles of roadside assistance, which is basically all the time. So you always have that coverage. That's 303 Pro Auto, 2 locations, near Evans and I-25, near Bowles and Santa Fe. 303proauto.com is the website. Let's keep going. And I apologize for the abbreviated show. I'm going to get to these calls. Chris, what's going on with you? Hello, Chris.
Hello?
What's going on, Chris?
Yes, sir. I got my clutch replaced in Lafayette Christian Brothers Automotive at the end of December.
Yeah.
It started out at 1,000. By the end of it, it was 1,700.
Well, okay. In order for them to do that, they have to. First of all, did you drop your car off, Chris?
Yes.
And did they give you an initial estimate?
Yes.
And
the clutch was $1,000.
Okay. And then to increase that, they must give you the opportunity to approve it.
They called me and told me that in order to install my clutch, carpet had to be removed and reinstalled to run the clutch line, which, yeah.
So hold on. Okay, well, but okay, and so they said it was going to be how much more? Whether we agree or not, they did call you, so you did give approval for how much more?
1,200, and the next morning it was 1,400 due to rust. And
well, what did they say? Hold on. So they called back and said it's going to be more due to rust. Then what?
Then they said that evening that I need to replace my rear main seal. I've never had an oil leak in this truck at all. I've had it for 2 years. Get my truck back, the clutch didn't make it 8 miles.
But you did agree to all the additional charges, so what was the total price out the door?
$1,700.
But, worse than that, you're saying they didn't do the job.
Yeah.
It failed within how much?
8 miles, my clutch.
It's ridiculous. What do they say about that?
They said they ran incorrectly ran the lines, and the lines rubbed.
So they agree.
All the fluid.
They agree they did it.
Yeah, they fixed that. That was that time.
Okay, then what?
I was in a rental truck for a week. Then I get my truck back, and then I go to fill up about 4 days later, and I had to put 2 quarts of oil in it. Now I'm excessively leaking oil. And so I take it to the Christian Brothers Automotive here in Colorado Springs. They get done with it. They warranty it. Then I go to pick it up Tuesday. There was a puddle of oil underneath it. Now all of a sudden there's a jack dent in the oil pan. Okay, whatever.
All right, Chris,
I paid for that.
Chris, hold on one sec. Let's just back up and let's just summarize first. Right now, without going over the stuff that they did and fixed, what is your current issue? Because really, we didn't need to hear about this.
I lost my motor last night.
Okay, so right now,
50 miles of driving it.
Hold on, Chris, you do have 230,000 miles on this car.
Yes.
Well, my God, I mean, why are you blaming them for your engine going out at 230,000 miles?
It's the rear main seal busted again last night.
Now, you had that done by them?
One by up in Lafayette, and then again down here.
You had the rear main seal done. You had it done
twice.
One was and did they charge for both?
Only the first one.
Because they warrantied it. So what happened to the first one? It just started leaking?
Yep.
And then the second time they did it, when did they do it?
I was told to get my truck back Tuesday. I showed up. And
no, I need to know, when did you get your truck back from the second main seal? When?
Yesterday.
And then you drove it and it went out last night?
Yes.
So
and
within
I have oil all over it.
Within the same day, same day you picked up your truck, and it went out that night.
Yep.
Did the check
another 500?
Did the oil light come on?
Yeah, that's what prompted me to pull over. But as I was stopping on the side of the highway, the pressure gauge dropped all of a sudden.
Yeah, can the rear main leak that much?
Oh, yeah, it can. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Chris.
It's under full pressure.
Chris, was it the rear main that failed?
Yes. It's the same exact spot it was leaking from before. and the diagnostics said it could be either the
This is the sickest part.
or the oil pan.
This is the sickest part of this scenario, and you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. Even, let me just tell you, even if they are directly responsible for that engine, what do you think they owe you?
Rebuilt motor with like 190, 200,000 miles.
Not a rebuilt.
Or a used one.
They do not. When was your engine?
As long as it's running.
Chris, when was your engine rebuilt?
He sounds like he's being pretty...
Wait, when was
I've never had it rebuilt.
Okay, so they
I got it 2 years ago
Chris,
with 132,000 miles.
They don't owe you a rebuild. They owe you a used engine with about 230,000 miles on it.
That runs.
Just something running.
That's right.
Just something running. That's all I want.
If they are responsible.
They came through on the last issue we had with them, but I got to tell you, man, I was pulling teeth for about a week.
Are they bad guys or what? What are they?
I don't think they're bad guys. Most of them are independently owned.
Oh, they are.
They are. And Paul won't. The one in Lafayette won't. The guy down here in the Springs is way better.
Okay.
The guy in Lafayette hardly will talk to him. But right now, as it is, I'm
Chris, have you ever thought about getting another vehicle?
Oh, I got another truck, and I'm working on trying to get another vehicle this summer.
Why don't you just take some? I would take some kind of. If I could, I would go for a cash settlement and ask for the depreciated value and forget it. That's what I would do against Christian Brothers. If they won't.
That's what I was going to ask y'all.
But we got to come up with a value. It is going to to be hard, Chris.
Well, that you just spent $1,700 though, and it just
and another $500 for the.
I would ask for I actually would ask for my money.
Yes.
That I spent with them. First, let's take a run at it. Let's call them. Who wants to deal with Christian Brothers? We can handle it. I mean, Dano?
Well, if it's $2,200 in repairs, and Christian Brothers would be willing to get a used engine in it, what would that cost them to do that? Add it to the $2,200, and the customer's done.
If they would do it, they're going to say, "I know this is sick, man. Jeez."
Well, we're going to know if it was a rear main that failed.
Chris,
I mean, do you have to remove carpeting to replace a clutch slave cylinder line? You don't have to remove carpeting, so that information is not correct.
Listen, we got to take this. Raleigh House for addiction. That's a premier addiction treatment facility located in the metro area. But the number I'm going to give you is not to enroll. The number I'm going to give you is for information. It's a special information line, not a crisis line, an information line. So if you're an addict, but mainly the family of addicts, friends of addicts, you may say, "Hey, what do I look for? How do I know there's a problem? Does it get worse? How long can it go on? What do I look for? How do I talk to them? What do I say? Where can they go for help? What if we can't afford the Raleigh House? Do you have special programs? What about other programs? What are the percentages of recidivism? Let's talk about treatment. Does insurance cover it? How long does it take?" All of these questions. We never, ever get information when we need it. Here you get it. You just found out you found something in your kid's backpack and it shocked you. Give them a call. Husband or wife, aunt, uncle, anyone in your life, give them a call to help out, to find out. Addiction will never get better on its own. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559.
A hydraulic line on that vehicle.
Why do they say that?
I don't understand.
Well, they charge for rust.
Yeah, that was another 200. Another 200. No, they.
It's a little harder to work on.
Mark, I'm not getting to a handyman right now. There's no way I can get to handyman.
Rust. Well, it might be on the exhaust bolts, but on all those Fords, you got to heat them exhaust bolts up.
They all break.
Every one of them with a torch. If you don't, they all break.
Power grid went down in Puerto Rico. Imagine that was going to happen.
Yeah. So if the customer's right, guys, saying that's what Christian Brothers Automotive
I mean, what's that got to do with anything, though? You just saw it?
Yeah, I just saw it.
But they call it Christian because of Christianity. That would be a insult.
And then they call
the back
people
that do that
rear main.
I don't know,
I totally agree.
That's weird.
It's like the money changers in the Bible.
Well, it comes out of the Bible Belt. Isn't there corporate down in Tennessee or Alabama somewhere?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, Do you really have to like say that? You know, like
Say what?
you know, your religion, Christian.
Oh, I know.
You know, all
It's a way to get people in.
Yeah,
My God, the Catholics advertise it like crazy.
No, they don't. No, I've never seen.
They have crosses in front of their shop.
Come on, they
Oh,
do
sure,
not.
yeah.
Never. I've
They're
never
churches.
seen- Mark,
Hey,
I've never
hey, I got a new name for a shop.
No, he's talking about the church.
Here's a new name for a shop.
They got crosses there.
Home Automotive.
They pass around plates.
How about Vatican Auto Repair?
The Pope.
Vatican Auto Repair.
Vatican Diagnostics. Oh.
We got it. 5 stars from the big
Oh my
JC.
God.
Where would JC bring his car?
How about yeah?
There was a shop up the street from us on Colfax that was a demonic shop.
Yeah. How about
When
Methodist?
you walk in, it was all black on the office and the music that was playing. And it was,
Methodist Mobile Repair.
And diagnostic.
Yeah, diagnostic.
I still like the holistic diagnostic.
How about this one? Atheist Automotive.
Yeah.
Would JC be riding a Burl if they can have this vehicle?
That's just as bad as a customer taking their vehicle into Sears for a transmission.
They don't do transmissions, do they?
They
No.
get a flush. They had on the show
Oh,
the flush
yeah,
that they get there.
They flushed it with like 180,000 miles, and then
Yeah.
of course it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So that's a bad deal.
Well, no, I mean,
I don't like flushing
Not
at all.
the
We don't
shops.
do it that way. I mean, the old
Just drain. Just drain.
Just drain it, replace the filter.
If you can.
Because when you're doing a flush, you're not addressing the filter. So you're flushing all this stuff.
How about radiator?
What about it?
Would you flush a radiator? or-
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That doesn't get into the pump or anything.
Oh, it gets into the pump.
Well, you got to flush the cooler out, yeah.
The whole cooling system. When you're flushing the radiator,
Right.
you're flushing the whole
Right.
cooling
But
system.
does that get in the radiator, the fuel or water pump and stuff?
Anything
Screw
that
up?
circulates antifreeze, it gets into.
So it could screw up the pump then?
No. No. Not going to screw up the water pump.
But a transmission, never flush. Just do a change.
no, some people flush. though.
You know, but it just depends. You get these.
We used to have a machine that would do it.
Yeah, but the back flush pushes it backwards through the filter. These guys are doing a flush without changing the filter.
Yeah.
You don't need a filter if you flush it. That's the biggest load of crap.
And, you know,
You're better off just pulling the line off and let the pump it, you know.
Remember, they used to have a good battery, the Die Hard.
They did. They had a good product.
Good tools.
yeah, but see, a
They
lot of
had
customers.
wonderful tools.
Even the Kenmore brand, I mean, it was all good stuff.
I think they were the first ones that did a lifetime warranty on tools, weren't they? The Craftsman?
But all their stuff
Yeah.
used to be great.
They still do.
It used to be. And then
Right, they still do, but I think they were the first, I mean, they were on before Snapline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Snap-on,
problem
Snap-on.
with them is
Craftsman's been around
but they
forever.
break
Oh,
too
yeah,
easy.
since 1900s.
You know, I don't know.
Well, I didn't know they break, I've never
had. Well, actually, I had.
Yeah, but you're not pounding away on ball joints on a
Sure,
Dodge
sure.
every day.
Because you don't want to go down there every other
But
day.
here's the thing, though, with flushing. A lot of shops flush it. Okay, your fluid's dark. It's burnt. Let's do a flush for a couple $100.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why the fluid's dark and burnt is because
No, some are beyond.
something is breaking down inside
The
the
best
transmission.
way to do it
Some are beyond.
is both.
What's that?
The best way to do it is both.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Okay, Norwood, sorry I didn't get back to you right away. Okay, so let's just talk about this then. You went and signed up. This is not unlike any other gym with any other membership, and then you get disenchanted. It all boils down to that. Was it a breach of contract, and can you get out? Is that what you're asking?
No. What actually happened was the equipment wasn't being maintained properly.
Right.
So the owner works on site. I went to him personally and I said, Rob, I'm having problems. This is what the problems are. He asked how I thought I should solve it, and I said the only way I see to solve it, since you're not fixing the equipment after 3 months, is to buy my own equipment. And he said, great, have a good day. Until I called the corporate number, and no one will
buy
ever
your
call
own
you back.
equipment. Okay.
Yeah, no one will ever call you back if you call the corporate number. And,
So,
and I'm not.
so
saying
you
I'm
are disenchanted. I was correct there.
Sure, yeah. Well, it's not. I would continue to use the membership. That's not the problem. The problem is the treadmills. There's 4 treadmills. It's a 2,000 square foot gym.
I understand. So what is the solution?
I went to him. We only used 3 months. I said, Rob, if you return I'll
then again, okay, so so that's the second thing I was correct about. You want to terminate your membership, and on both counts you said wrong. So it all comes down to you being disenchanted and wanting your money back.
Well, if they would have fixed the equipment, we would have continued to use it.
That's what I just said. You were disenchanted and you want your money back. Norwood, I'm just trying to get to the problem so I can try to help you. What did they say about refunding the balance?
Yes, he said no. He said he's much happier if I just buy my own equipment and solve my own problem.
Now, is he being a wise ass when he said that?
Yes. Yes, that's why.
What a jerk!
And Norwood, didn't he admit to not maintaining the equipment properly?
Yes.
Well,
his wife.
I would sue him. You know what? I'd sue him for breach of contract. I would sue him for breach of contract.
Is that right? Okay.
No, I mean, you're in Washington. Listen. I would go to small claims court for breach of contract and ask for your membership back. How much was it?
$800.
That's what I would do.
Where's he at, though?
He is in Washington. What county?
Pacific County, Long Beach, Washington.
Okay, that's what I would do. Now, I don't mind calling the guy, but he's going to be a jerk or wise ass. I mean, these people have to be snapped into action at Snap Fitness, because they're not going to listen. Norwood, I mean it, by the way. This is not a kiss-off. If you get the form and you need help, we'll walk you through the procedure. We really will. Okay, Lawrence, what is your question, Lawrence?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm helping a young friend who has had some tax issues. They got several requests for payment on back taxes.
Okay.
They finally got one that was the CP504 that said there's an intent to levy.
You should call. How much is it for total?
$148.
Oh, then pay it. I mean,
it was paid. Here's the thing: it was paid. It was paid in advance of the letter having been received.
Okay.
It was checked. Those checks went through. They were certified.
Okay, good.
Checks.
Then it just crossed in the mail, right?
Yes.
Then what is your question or issue?
Will there be another notice? Let's say they somehow screw up. Would they actually send a notice of actually now we are in the process of levying?
Yes.
So there would be a letter to follow the one that had been sent.
No, that's right. You will get notice of the actual levy.
All right, so we shouldn't probably get that.
You shouldn't. It probably crossed in the mail. Dave, quickly, what did you want to ask about Budget A1 transmission and auto repair?
Budget A1, I've got a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo that has multiple...
You know what? Hold on, because I don't want you to...
We'll put Mark on.
We'll put Mark on to you right after this, okay? Because our show is ending, but he'll talk to you personally off the air. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Don't forget referralist.com to protect you and save all your problems for me.
Are you retired?
Here. You want to?
Sure, absolutely.
This could be a good lead for you.
Thank you. Oh, yes. Hello, Dave. This is Mark. I get too involved. Good. How are you? You're welcome. Thanks for calling in.
I get too involved.
With who?
Well, because I'm so pissed off.
I don't blame you. I do too.
Yeah. Okay.
Problem is, sometimes I get pissed off and the guy's crazy,
gotcha.
and I send Mark out there.